ProBricky exclusive YouTube channel. We're on the subject suicide. It's pretty important. Take a moment to listen to this, the correct handling of suicide. Let's get into it, guys.
Hi, everybody. Something I need to talk about that I don't think I've really talked about much about is the suicide threat that you will inevitably get at some point. It's pretty much a Hail Mary pass when you're starting to develop your own independence and you're pulling away from them and you're starting the exit process and none of the traditional hoovering is working and they start to recognize that their grip is slipping.
Okay, so this is relative to a narcissist in a relationship, but these little narcs can be children in the family and members of the family. These people are everywhere, these psychologically troubled and emotionally addicted people. Apply that across the spectrum, apply this across the spectrum.
A big part of emotional abuse is getting you to feel guilty and to blame yourself. You carry a lot of guilt and blame, and because of...
And I've seen this with a few of the girlfriends, these children and adult children and family members. Just have them in the corner and they can't... well, I think some of them actually enjoy it. A lot of these people feel like they're of use, I guess, in a way, of value, because they're in a position where they can save someone from harming themselves, and if they don't, it's going to be their fault, and that person will blame them if they, it's all very dysfunctional and ugly, but there are people that like the attention that they get playing the role of the saviour. But God help them when they realise it's not helping anybody at all. It's just creating another emotional vampire, in some cases, that will run it as long as they can. And it's really not, in that instance, helping anybody at all. I've seen it. It's draining. It's pathetic, absolutely pathetic. And it'll go on for years and years and years, and it really becomes pathetic, actually.
That you feel indebted to this other person who you've wronged. That's one of the big underlying...
See, this is what a lot of children do to their parents. They make the parents live in a state of where they think they owe the children supernatural elements of their life, because the child is where they are because the parents done wrong.
Themes of abuse. And so...
And it is abuse.
One of the ways that they're going to try and suck you back in is with the threat of suicide, because you've been so horrible to them. They know what you're going through with the silent treatment. They know how excruciating it can be when you're going through withdrawals. They know. And they're going to sit there and they're going to recite your own symptoms to them and talk about how terrible they feel and how they're feeling. And it's going to sound an awful lot like the way you're feeling. And then they're going to be sitting there talking about committing suicide. So, first of all, if anybody ever tells you that they're contemplating suicide, you always do two things.
Here we go.
Number one, find out where they are. Number two,
a lot of these people will be sitting at the kitchen table eating their dinner, waiting for their sweets after dinner, or their cones, or their whatever they do at home. And they'll be sitting there, painting this picture of suicide. They've got no bloody intention. And the parents are fueling this spirit of death. And you watch it and you're just sitting there and you're going, get out the violins, please, honestly. because it's easy to fix. Listen to this. It's so easy to fix.
Call 911.
Thank you.
Something pop up on my screen. The video
000,
disappeared.
guys.
But yeah, step 1, find out where they are. Step 2, call 911. Why?
Straight away.
Because either they're faking it or they really are considering suicide. And if you're in this state of relationship and this level of toxicity,
Yep.
you are not equipped at all.
So get it? It's such a high level of dark triad, reverse dark triad toxicity. I say reverse dark triad because now the dark triad destructive traits that they use against people around them have turned in on themselves. So the triad characteristics that harm other people, and now they've turned them on themselves and they're going to commit suicide. You need to ring 000 straight away. That fixes it from every angle, doesn't it? If it's fake, the police will soon find out. If it's not, the police will support them and get them to the right people. I've seen these parents and I've sat there and I've gone, this person is just feeding a much bigger problem than what they realize.
To handle someone who's suicidal, emergency services is very equipped. They see it all the time. They handle it all the time. Leave it to the professionals.
Yep.
Say, where are you? And you say, then you call 911 and tell them. Then you hang up and you say, stay put, help is on the way. And let that be that. And then maybe the next day after everything is settled down.
I had an instance where I was visiting a member of the church, and I was having a drink of water at their place, and he was having a cup of tea, and I'd had enough of listening to this suicide stuff that this person was going on with. So I just asked if I could go to the toilet, and I rang the police. So I'm sitting there drinking me drink, come back out, drinking me drink. This person's waffling on, and the police turn up and knock on the door, and the guy answers the door and goes, oh, what are you doing here? And they've gone, we've got a call that are you the person that's considering suicide? And they sat with him for 10 or 20 minutes and spoke. I never, ever heard another word about suicide from that person again. You just waffle around, you just run around thinking you can fix these people. You wake up to yourselves. Let the authorities deal with it.
Things will be better. Now, why would you do that if they're faking it? Well, because they're sitting there getting their jollies. She thinks I'm suicidal. This is really going to get her. Knock, knock, knock. Police.
Yep. Police.
That's going to wake them the hell up. Yep. Narcissists don't like their abuse being made public.
I was in a situation with one of my partners where I was accused. These people didn't realize I spent years in the hospital system and in the boys' home. There's a lot of it go on up there as well. They're professionals at it. And throughout the church world, addressing these issues. And one of these people come up with the idea, it was trying to sabotage who I was, and to the mother, come up with the idea that I was getting thrills out of the thought of them committing suicide. I just removed myself. I haven't got time for shit like that. But in the end, it ruined the relationship. And that's what they do. These people are master manipulators, a lot of them. I mean, expert manipulators. And they'll use suicide if they have to as a means of getting attention. In another situation where I dissolved a marriage, my second marriage, due to the adult children, dysfunctional adult children, just to make sure that his mother was going to leave, he feigned, what'd they say? He feigned a fit at the doctor's surgery, but he was hungover from grog. He actually fell asleep and weed himself in the doctor's surgery while he was waiting for his appointment, and come back and told his mother that he'd had a fit. But that's not true, because when you have a fit, they ring an ambulance straight away and take you to emergency. So they tell lies. They'll go to extraordinary lengths to get their way. They'll sabotage people that they think are taking away the attention they want. You've got no idea the lengths these people go to cause trouble and carnage and grief and sadness. And a lot of them just are not going to be happy until they get their way. Call 000 to work out what's really going on. They won't do it again if the police turn up, because they'll be frightened you'll ring the police again.
So they hate that because they're exposed. And they're going to get a bill for it in the mail for the false alarm.
Yep.
That they're going to have to pay. That's great.
That's in America.
So that's going to teach them a lesson. Don't cry wolf.
Yeah, don't
fake suicide. Because then people are going to know about it and you're going to have to pay a bill. It's awesome. And
it's so simple.
In the event that they are serious and are really contemplating suicide, you can save a life that way, and then you don't have to live with the guilt of knowing that you ignored somebody whenever they were crying for help and you did nothing. So that is the absolute best thing you can do when somebody is suicidal, is to call emergency services and let the professionals talk them down.
Yep.
And you stay quiet and you stay out of it.
And that's exactly what I did when the trouble started in one of my relationships. I just removed myself. I just thought, this is so pathetic and so malicious. It was dark triad. It was such an aggressive, infantile assault on somebody that really hadn't done anything wrong at all. And these people don't realise you've spent 15 fucking years dealing with all this, and you're watching it and you're just going, man, how pathetic can this get? You remove yourself. And if it really is suicide, which 9 times out of 10 it's not, let's see, but don't fucking blame me. I hate that.
Thank you very much for watching. Has your narcissist ever threatened suicide? Have you been through this? Has emergency services been called on you? Did you get a bill?
What you don't want to hear, a lot of you parents, is you're dealing with children that are little narcs. You've made them into little dark triad narcissists, haven't you? Oh, well, you'll need to face that. We might put some parenting ones on here, but that's the other side of suicide. Ring 000, ring 000, and they'll sort it out for you straight away. Just remember, there's parents that love the attention they get too from all the drama surrounding this person. We might lose them. We might this and that. Don't play the stupid game. It's all infantile dysfunctionalism based around reverse dark triad, narcissistic thinking. We'll catch you on the next one. Ring 000. Bye for now.